Hey everyone, this is Encyclomedia here, and yes, it has been a very long time since I've actually said this is Encyclomedia. That was a failed YouTube channel name, and if you look below, especially after publishing this video, you may realize, wait a minute, you're not called that anymore. Well, here's the thing. What you are watching is the final, one of the final two episodes of a series that I started like 4-5 years ago, something like that, talking about the Walt Disney Treasure series. This video has been long delayed, but highly requested. A lot of people, I still get comments, and you know what? Hey, 2021 is here. It's a new year. We're getting out of the old year. So you know what? Let's do something and finish what we started. Let's actually finish what we started here. And we are talking about Walt Disney Treasures Wave 8. And by the way, this was a Patreon requested review from Ryan's Treasures. So thank you for your support, Ryan. I'm so sorry it took so long. Anyway, Walt Disney Treasures Season 8 followed the traditional release format of the Walt Disney Treasures. They came in silver tin cans, and there were 3 editions. They finished up Donald Duck with the Chronological Donald Volume 4. They did another Mickey Mouse Club Presents, this time Annette. And then you have the main reason that this video took so long to get made, and also the biggest pain in the butt, maybe, and if you want to collect all of these things later on, Dr. Sin the Scarecrow of Romney March. Although in all fairness, none of these sets are particularly cheap or easy to come by. Of all of them, Annette might be the easiest one to find these days, but to be perfectly honest, it's still not going to be cheap. It's still going to be like $100. So anyway, let's take a look first at the Chronological Donald Volume 4, and obviously this was the highlight of the set for me. It wasn't for a lot of people, but we'll get to that one in a second. And anyway, obviously I love Donald Duck cartoons. I expressed my love for them in the other videos, and this actually has something that is very rare. This actually has all the Donald Duck shorts that were produced in CinemaScope, because near the end of the Donald Duck cartoon run, widescreen was becoming more prevalent, and Disney decided to experiment with CinemaScope in his animation, and Donald Duck shorts were some of the first shorts, along with a couple Silly Symphonies, of course, that took advantage of the CinemaScope format. Now, frustratingly, my copy, as you can see, is a little dinged up, got some marks, and that's because when I went to buy it, this was the only copy they had, and it was dented, I guess, in transit. I bought it anyway, just in case I never saw another copy, and it turns out that is true. I have never seen a second copy of this anywhere in the store, even a used store. So I feel very fortunate to have it at all. But anyway, let's go through the old process of what we would do. This is also harder to open because it's dented up there. And let's look at the case. Here's the case, and there's the back of the case. Leonard Maltin's there, and Roy's signature, I don't know if you can see it or not, it's right there. Right there. Kind of, I don't know if that was deliberate or just an oversight, but yeah, it's still there. They did go back to putting the discs there. So let's look at disc 1. Got a nice little image of Donald there. You have a disc 2, where Donald is dressed like a gentleman, which is funny because we know he's not. You, of course, have the little booklet. This is advertising all 3. As you can see, we'll just go through this real quick. There's Walt, very similar to the others. And this will, of course, tell you which cartoons are what. It's what it starts with disc 1 on Dude Duck, and it ends with the Litter Bug from 1961. And there's some bonus materials and stuff as well. It still comes with a certificate of authenticity, and this one they made 39,500 of. I mean, why be 40,000 when it can just be $500 less? I have 20,509, and the little lithograph that comes with all of these, Walt, Grimm, and Barrett, with the fun factoid being Donald was so popular, he even had his own newspaper comic strip. It appeared for the first time February 7th, 1938. So that's a fun fact that you can now get for free, courtesy of this video, without having to pay a whopping $300 to $400 for, because that is roughly how much this thing is going to set you back. Go to eBay, and if you want this brand new, $400, $500 easily for this. You get it used, maybe a couple $100. That's how rare that one is. It also helps, helps with the fact that Donald is popular. That should have easily been a 100,000 at minimum tin set, but by this time they were starting to wind these down a little bit. Now then, the next one is Mickey Mouse Club presents Annette. Annette was arguably, probably not even arguably, but unarguably the most popular Mouseketeer on the Mickey Mouse Club. She was in several Walt Disney movies, including like Babes in Toyland. She starred in a couple movies with the Beach Boys, or was it the Beach Boys or was it the Monkeys? I forgot which one it was. Anyway, you can look it up. You can comment on that below. And so Annette was just a real star. By the way, fun fact, I forgot to take the back off this one. So this one is actually in the most pristine condition of them all. And I think early on the idea was that the Mickey Mouse Club would be the stand-in for the Mickey Mouse DVDs. I don't know if that worked the way they wanted to. People were way more interested in owning vintage Mickey Mouse cartoons than vintage Mickey Mouse Club episodes. But, some of these are pretty cool. Disappointingly, there are a couple of Annette starring Disneyland TV specials that appear in this that also appeared on other Walt Disney Treasure sets. I would have preferred it just be all original. And I think that's also what was starting to annoy people about these sets, was that they were starting to recycle material. And I guess they could get away with it in the sense that some people didn't get those older sets. These are in very limited condition, circulation. After all, however, doesn't change the fact that it felt kind of like a ripoff. So anyway, yeah, there you go. Looks the same as the back one. And the interesting thing about when you look at the Annette discs on this is that they don't even emphasize the Mickey Mouse Club. They emphasize her specials and movies that she was in. There's actually very little to do with the Mickey Mouse Club on these discs in general. Of course, we have the almighty Walt Disney Treasures booklet, and there's old Walt, there's the description, and there's, that's the image that they're actually pushing the most, because I believe that's also the collectible art. So, disc one has, some of the Mickey Mouse episodes like The Newcomer, Annette Meets Joe, An Invitation, The Escort, The Party. Disc two has Steady Gets an Idea, The Explosion, The Turn Down Invitation. There's actually, and there's another thing I should probably mention, very few of these are full-length Mickey Mouse Club episodes. They're just taking highlights, as evidenced by the fact that one of the bonus materials for the first disc is a complete Mickey Mouse Club show episode called Musically Yours, Annette. So, and on the second one, there's also another complete episode of Mickey Mouse Club called To Annette with Love. So most of these are just segments of the Mickey Mouse Club show and from, Walt Disney in Living the Wonderful World of Color, Disneyland, things like that. This also had 39,500. I don't know what it is with the odd numbers, but they do. I have number 2,242. So I actually have a fairly low number. And here's the card that they gave with it. And on the back it says, in a hayride scene during one of the episodes of the Mickey Mouse Club presents Annette, Annette sings How Will I Know My Love, the original song that helped launch her recording career. This was a publicity still. So anyway, is it my favorite? No, I mean, obviously, in fact, what's also disappointing is that I don't even think, I want to say, you see, let me look at this booklet one more time, because I don't even think that Annette herself was interviewed on this set. I think she was interviewed on other Disney DVDs, but I think she was in ill health and not really capable of doing interviews by the time this set came out. So as a result, the legacy has to speak for itself. And hey, you know what? I enjoyed many of the segments on this thing. So this one, if you want it brand new, it'll probably set you back a couple $100. If not, you could probably get it for 80 to 100. This one's all things considering, the cheapest to get. Now we're gonna get to the pain in my neck for this set, because if you want to understand why this took 4 years for me to finally get around to finishing, it's because I wanted to do these sets in order, and I wanted to actually do a review of them. And the thing is, this stupid thing kept me from making it, because I bought this and never watched it. I mean, I watched the intros, but I didn't know what this was. I really didn't. My nose is itching. I'm sorry. And it took me years, and I kept thinking I should watch it. And then finally, in 2020, I sat down and watched it. And I wish I had more to say, but I am terribly sorry, folks. I don't like this thing. I mean, I know that this was basically a British Zorro. The guy's fighting King George III, and he's doing it in the name of the people. But this thing is just so stupid, and it kind of shows why Zorro succeeded and Dr. Cian didn't, because Zorro was in black and white and had a lot of character. I think the color, the costumes looked especially hokey and everything. So I couldn't get into this one. I really couldn't. I've tried. Amazingly, I've watched it twice, and I'll tell you why in a minute. But I did not like this thing. I'm sorry to those of you who do. So anyway, here's the case, and here's the back of the case. And let's look at the discs. There's the Scarecrow, and I got to be careful how I put these down. And we have the Scarecrow not in costume. So I will say the discs do look nice. I wish the programming was better. In terms of the certificate of authenticity, 39,500. I have copied 2,180, so another fairly low number. Here's the amazing booklet, which looks pretty much the same in every regard, but I'll just flip through real quick, especially since we are doing 4K now, and we can actually look at this stuff. So the TV episodes, well, and this is one of the reasons why I thought this was like a stupid release for Walt Disney Treasures. The first disc has the 3-part series and some bonus material, which includes introductions and widescreen and all that jazz. Disc 2 has the movie version, because this was edited for theaters overseas. So basically, you can watch it uncut, the way it was supposed to be seen, which includes 4:3, 3 different episodes, or you can watch it edited and in widescreen, which is cropped. Derp, derp. I mean, geez, that was just an awful program I ultimately didn't even like. So here's the little lithograph they give you, and it says, of all the men the Scarecrow led, only 2 knew his real identity. So yeah, whatever. Now, here's the thing. As much as I did not like this thing, the reality of the matter is this must have been like a treasure episode of The Wonderful World of Color, because I heard that there was like petitions and stuff for years to get this thing released on disc. And obviously it was important enough to someone, because Leonard Maltin and Roy Disney chose it to be part of the collection. And I do think it's interesting, at least in theory, that they would have the TV show edit and the movie edit. But the thing is, if you are a fan of this, I mean, why wouldn't you watch the TV show version? It's uncut, it's in the proper aspect ratio. But this thing is loved enough that a used copy will set you back usually a couple $100. And if you own it brand new, oh boy, you might be paying $500 for it. Now, you really should not do that. Not only because I personally don't like the show, but also because this thing is out. And this, by the way, was a gift from the Patreon sponsor, once again, Ryan's Treasures. Thank you, Ryan. Please don't take the fact that I don't like this movie as criticism of the gift. I very much appreciate the gift, especially since it kind of gave me an opportunity to really compare the versions. And I guess now that I'm thinking about it, I've watched this thing 3 times. I've watched something I don't even like 3 times. That's how dedicated I ended up being to this review. And this is kind of interesting. It doesn't have the theatrical cut of the show per se. It's the 3 separate episodes, but there's just enough editing done to make it seem like it's a movie version. This is obviously in high definition, and for what it's worth, they clean it up well. But they also do the cropping like it was in the movie theaters in England, but they leave more of the footage in as opposed to what the original international theatrical cut was. I'm not going to get into too many specifics. Needless to say, it was just like a lot of little things that probably didn't matter. And this is a fraction of the cost. This you can usually find for $30 at most. In most places, you can find it even a little less than that. Now, granted, again, the image is cropped, and there's still a little something. If you want the complete experience, this is the one to do it. But if you don't want to shell out $200 and you're just kind of curious about it, this would be a much better option. And, you know, the picture just looks better overall. In all fairness, even though it is cropped, because it was cropped for theatrical viewing in mind, they were respectful with the cropping. So for the most part, you can't really tell that something is missing. So this is a good alternative if you don't want to shell out a couple $100. But let's go over this one more time. And that is Wave 8, Chronological Donald, Volume 4, Mickey Mouse Club presents Annette, and Dr. Cian. These 3 make up the Wave 8, and if you were to get these all brand new, I'm saying you're setting yourself back close to $1,000. Close to $1,000. And in my opinion, this is the only one that's like a must-have by any stretch of the imagination. Now, here's the thing. Most people by this point had felt that Walt Disney Treasures had started to run its course. They were picking properties that were really obscure. They were running out of the cartoon characters. They were recycling material for the Mickey Mouse Club DVDs. But there would be one more way of Walt Disney Treasures to come out the following year, and it would be unlike anything the set had ever seen before. And that presented some very interesting dilemmas by the end of the road. And here's the thing. We will be talking about that wave next time. And by the way, we won't even make you wait 4 years. We will make you wait 1 week to see this final video. We've actually even got it scheduled in advance. You can actually subscribe for the premiere right now. But anyway, I would like to know what you all think about this video or these sets. Do you have them? What's your favorite one? Which ones do you not like? Are you trying to collect them now? Are you going to try to get the Disney Treasures Dr. Cian, or are you going to go for the much more economic Disney Movie Club Blu-ray? I'd love to know. Comment below, like, favorite, share, subscribe, and as always, flame responsibly. Have a good one.